Ruckerman.
We are live. Sbtalksports, Sean Webb, real takes over fake debates. It is Monday. How you doing, Sean?
Doing good, SB, man. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I walked in right into the office. After I go to SwiftEnergy.com, I got my Swift Energy right here in the cup, drinking in the show, trying to be energized, get through. So if you guys want to be energized like me, go to SwiftEnergy.gg, use code RTOFD to get 20% off your order. Salute everybody who's going on. Salute Tiffany's always coming in, show support. And if you guys are watching on all platforms, make sure you guys like, make sure you guys share, make sure you guys subscribe. And if you watch on the TikTok, hit the like. Let's get us to 1K like through the TikToks. If you're watching here on YouTube, go ahead, hit that like button, share, tell a friend. Your boys are live. But Sean, I got to get right into the show today, man, because a lot of things have been on my mind. Obviously, to finally avoid, I'm avoiding the noise of the LeBron thing. We're not doing that today. So if y'all want to hear that today, y'all not hearing that today. We're avoiding that today. I'm tired of all that noise. I'm seeing everybody going crazy about it. Y'all wilding over a kid that's a second round pick. It's wild. That's a different story for another day. But the real true thing that everybody's avoiding is talking about is that, like, how dangerous this new CBA is. And the problem with the new CBA is I think it's a possibility that it might extinguish team dynasties where, like, we see in multiple different teams winning, we get different teams in the finals, which is always good for basketball. I'm not gonna lie, it's always good for basketball. But is it possible that the new CBA will ruin future NBA dynasties? We're not gonna get another Golden State, not another Miami Heat, none of the Spurs, no Shaq Lakers, no Bird and Magic no more. What's your take on it, Sean?
Yeah, so SB, I think what the new CBA is going to put, a preeminent focus on is your ability to draft and develop. But also after drafting and developing, we generally know if a guy is doing well on a team that drafted him and he gets to that rookie max extension, that rookie extension, he's going to be there for, several years. Do you have two guys or three guys who say you drafted and developed and, you get to those rookie extensions, and can you fill out the rosters around them? What we're seeing with the new CBA is it's going to be very, very difficult to keep it together long term. The Warriors are the most recent example, but when you think about the Spurs under Tim Duncan, that was basically a 15-year run, and actually a little bit longer when you think about it, because even the last year Tim Duncan, they won 67 games. So they were an incredibly competitive team, never missed the playoffs, all that stuff. And it was generally, and they didn't have, obviously Parker and Ginobili, the first championship run, but those guys came in a little bit later, and we obviously saw the run that, they went on. This is what they wanted. The new CBA, if you really want to be honest about it, SB, comes down to two teams: the Golden State Warriors and the LA Clippers, because those two teams in the last 4 years combined spent $950 million in luxury tax.
Ooh-wee. At least one of them got championship to show for it, but ooh-wee.
Right. And, you got to imagine the other owners looking around and kind of like, like what the freak, like, and they could just keep spending. So what does the new CBA do? It makes it incredibly difficult to continue to spend at that level and retain your talent. So I think what we're going to see, if we see a dynasty, it's going to be a very brief dynasty.
Yeah.
You're going to be lucky if you get a 5, maybe 6 year run out of a team before you start making some crazy financial decisions. Even Boston.
Do you think we're not going to see no more back-to-back champions? Maybe a three-peat hard enough to do with health concerns, but now I'm questioning, can we get a back-to-back champion?
I mean, I think the key to getting a back-to-back championship is retention, but also, like you said, health. Yeah. Can you keep the same core? Can you keep the same general roster together? Will you lose guys because of depth? How long are guys signed for? What are you maximizing a guy who's on an inexpensive deal, that's playing above the expectations of that deal, so to speak. So, I really believe, SB, to be honest with you, you can see back-to-back champions, but there's a lot of things that factor in. The question is, are we going to see another Golden State? Or are we going to see another Spurs run? That I don't think is going to happen, not in this current landscape, to be honest with you.
And for me, Sean, how I'm looking at the situation is, I just think the CBA didn't intentionally try to ruin dynasties, because dynasty sales when the Golden State Warriors on top of the league, and he might got that 1-2, they got the 2 punches of teams that's going at it. Because a lot of people look at it as like, oh, it's a bad thing that like 2 teams really dominate. Sometimes it's a good thing because they keep the popularity going. Because trust me, doing them Cavs and Warriors beef, that popularity and attention was very high. But I think it's not initially trying to ruin dynasties, but it will. I just believe they're preparing for the expansion. And they want to make the 2 other expansion teams come in as smooth as possible and try to make it be even, be able to compete right off bat, because they want to gravitate that fan base. Now, the 2 locations that they're going to do, I think no matter if they would start off bad for like 10 years or not, I think they would have been fine. But you got like Vegas and Seattle. Seattle been waiting on it. Seattle going to support that team regardless, good, bad, or not. And they're going to wait till they get their team back good. So Seattle waiting. Vegas already showed that they will rock out with the teams. But I think bigger picture-wise, it's always only been about the expansion. And I feel like now with locking this in, I think, Sean, honestly, I think we probably get Vegas and Seattle before 2030.
I think that's a fair assumption, SB. To be honest, now that the new media rights deal is basically done, the next goal for the league is to add those 2 teams. And like you said, I think by 2029, 2030, we'll see those 2 teams in those markets. The good thing, those markets already have NBA-ready arenas, obviously. And, it's just a matter of getting the right ownership groups with the deep pockets that can, go in and make sure those teams not only, start off well, but can sustain, long term, because that's the other part of it, to be honest with you.
What you think about Sham comment, right? I actually think it's pretty good. He said the NBA is going to switch back to the old CBA once they find out the new CBA is going to lower down the ratings because homegrown players are going to be forced to move out.
Well, I mean, again, not all your homegrown players will have to move out. So to me, the team to watch in the next few years is Oklahoma City, right?
Yes.
Because we know they have SGA, we know they have Chet. We got to think those 2 guys are their building blocks. But what happens if Jalen Williams, becomes an all-star? What happens if, one of their other young guys takes the next leap? We know how well Sam Presti drafts, generally speaking. They may add a 3rd guy who could become a guy where they say, yeah, we can't trade this guy. This guy is definitely a big part of our future. So Oklahoma City is the team I'm watching. But and again, probably a little more current, is watch out for Boston. Not this season, but next season.
They solidified everybody. Pretty much everybody coming back.
Well, yes, for this season.
This season, yes.
Keep in mind, Porzingis is going to be extension eligible after next season.
Yep.
Right? What do they do with him? Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum are each, because Tatum's extension kicks in next season. They're over $300 million, each on their contracts. Plus, they could potentially have a new ownership group. So, it's going to be very interesting to watch, what happens. Obviously, they've extended Derek White, they've extended Drew Holiday, but if they get a new ownership group and this new ownership group says, hey, we just can't spend this amount of money on the roster, they may be forced to make some interesting decisions. So that they're the team to watch, not this season, but for the 25-26 season. That's when I'm watching what they do. I don't think they're breaking up Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. I think those two guys are solidified. It's going to be how to fill out the rest of the roster around them based on what ownership wants to spend, given what they're spending now.
Trust and believe. If you buy a franchise, because Boston gonna be about a couple billion, you ain't got you just spend a couple billion. You ain't got no money to blow like that unless the top of the top got better team. He got to have a lot of bread. But
they're saying the valuation for Boston may go somewhere in between like 6 and 6.5, even up to $7 billion. Because you look at what Matt Ishbia spent for the Phoenix Suns. So, so it's like, so we're seeing, I mean, you got to have some real deep pockets now. And, I don't want to call out any particular ownership groups, but there are some owners who may get to the point where they just don't have the resources as the league continues to expand, financially. May not have the resources to continue owning a team. So there may be.
I wish he would start coming out and not having resources, finessing us, not spending money on the team. Want to go 44, man, 41 and 41 every season on purpose, man.
Yeah, and the sad part is I mean, you think y'all are the third largest media market, yet this is the product that he chooses to spend on. So I just that's another conversation. But yeah, we'll see. I do think this new CBA is going to put a greater emphasis on draft, develop, extend, try to win in that window that you have with young talent who may sign a rookie extension, because after that it may become too expensive for you to keep that team together long term.
Also, one point of the main topic of the show, we got to talk about Steph Curry, who believes the Warriors the last dynasty. But we got one of our first callers ever on Real Takes Over Fake today. So we got my boy Leaf calling in. Leaf, welcome to the show. One thing, no cursing, keep it clean. That's it. But what's your question for me and Sean? What you got?
Question is, well, I guess I'm agreeing with it, is that the CBA, the new CBA did kind of put a stop to that whole 5-year dynasty thing that Golden State had was going on. So Steph Curry was 100% right about that. At least for now, that's definitely the last dynasty. But what he fails to realize is that the person that put an end of it, that helped put an end of it, was C.J. McCollum. C.J. McCollum was the person that had put an end of it because he hated the Warriors. That's why everybody know that he was a leader. Once he got into the Players Association as president, he signed off on that deal, and now you got what you got. You got teams that kind of got to build from the ground up. As far as the 2025 draft go, I'm it's funny to me that we press the reset button, and then it's like a couple of other teams that's going to remain nameless.
Oh, Sean don't know. Leaf, when he say us, he's the Nets fan. He like the Nets.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Leaf.
But like we press the reset button, but like people are trying to convince me not only that Cooper Flag, if we do get Cooper Flag, we need to start moving pieces out of the front office, which I agree with right now. I agree with we need to start moving pieces out of the front offices right now. Joe Tsai already gave up 15% of the team to the Koch family, and the other 85% is probably gonna get bought out maybe by the end of the season, or maybe within the next year. So I personally think we in a good driver's seat not to screw this thing up. But we are a tri-state team. As long as we don't have the same voodoo as the Knicks, I think we'll be just fine. We'll be just fine. I mean, as long as we don't have the same voodoo as the New York Knicks, I think we'll be just fine, and we'll get to doing everything that we need to do in terms of the rebuild. Man, we tried to get rich quick scheme with Katie and Kyrie, and we see other teams dying off from that. The Clippers, the Suns. Those are teams that's dying off of that. I mean, y'all kind of died off of that by keeping Lonzo and DeMar DeRozan for as long as y'all kept them. I mean,
that's why I'm actually happy. But it's like, see, at least with like my team, bro, our owner is literally like sabotaging us purpose. Like he want us to go 41-41 every year because he want game 75 to matter so he can make more money off the game. And he don't want to win far. He don't want to spend money. We the third biggest team market wise, but we always under luxury tax. He don't spend no money. I was shocked that Zach got paid. Honestly,
I mean, listen, look. Y'all now finding this out. Y'all should have known this in the 90s. He didn't want to pay nobody in the 90s. After 98, after 98, everybody else went somewhere else and got paid. Jordan was taking 1-year deals at that point, up until that point anyway. So everything that we know about Jerry Reinsdorf remained true for over 30 years. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he still holding that team hostage with this 41-41 thing and still being under the cap, and y'all still being under luxury, and y'all still being a top 5 organization in terms of marketing and in terms of like that. Sad. Y'all merch go out of control. So which is crazy to me. But listen, it can always be worse. You want Joe Tsai?
Nah, we good on that. Good on that. Appreciate
all right, all right then. But
appreciate you coming on, Lee. We get the show
going.
Yeah,
appreciate it, man. I'll see y'all soon, man.
Appreciate you, Lee. See you soon, bro.
See you soon, Lee. Shout out my boy Leaf. Leaf go crazy. Leaf got a content. YouTube, go subscribe to Leaf. He do WNBA. He do the Nest Talk. Also, shout out Big Fan Breezy. They go crazy together doing the next content. Shout out Leaf. Appreciate it. That's the first caller. Leaf. We're gonna have to Leaf. I'm gonna have to send you like a Nets hat or a Nets shirt or something, man. You was the first caller for our Real Takes Over Fake Debate.
You better get it at Marshalls. They stuff at Marshalls pretty.
Oh yeah. I get it for the low. You know what I'm saying? For the low for sure. I might send him a James Harden shirt.
Yeah. Send him a Ben Simmons one. They give.
Yeah. Lee probably send him a Ben Simmons. But shout out to Real Takes Over Fake Debate. You gotta hold the shirt up too. But on to continue in the show. Shout out Leaf again, man. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for supporting the channel. Steph Curry believes the Warriors are the last dynasty. And I want to double on some of the points that Leaf was bringing up about like how CJ McCollum and the Players Association, because I forgot about that. But you could also think about like players who probably went through dealing with stuff with these teams now in position at the office of power. And if I was the player like CJ McCollum, I would just say, hypothetically speaking, if that was truly the case, I would have did the same thing too. I went through my peak powers. I couldn't do nothing because of y'all. So you know what? Homegrown your talent. But I'm saying from a player perspective. But I think it's for the new teams though.
And I think the Warriors are unique, right? Because I think a lot of people have to remember the reason why they were able to do what they did was because they drafted Steph. They drafted Clay. They drafted Draymond.
Yes, sir.
They had those guys on largely inexpensive deals. When Steph got his extension, it was only a 4-year, $44 million extension because of the ankles. So when the cap spiked in 2016, because again, the Players Association was the primary ones who did not want the cap spike to be spread. They wanted it all. They wanted to boost all in 1 year. The Warriors, like many other teams, had the cap space to go out and to do what they did in free agency. Now they had to make other roster moves. Obviously, they had to, move Harrison Barnes and Andrew Bogut to make it happen. But that's why what happened. So I think sometimes what happens is, when you see sort of the wild, wild west, if you will, with free agency or guys basically saying trade me here or get me here or blah, 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 there's always an overcorrection on the other side.
Yeah.
And the overcorrection is the new CBA with the aprons and the tax and
Mhm.
all of the restrictions that, come with being, first apron and second apron teams, so that's the nature of the beast.
And then, Sean, I'm glad you said it, because this is the reality of the fact too, that people don't want to acknowledge the fact that during that run, the Steph run, the Warriors ran their organizations perfectly to a T. Because the Warriors, technically, Steph, Clay, Draymond, their core was built through the draft. It wasn't their fault that Steph was getting hurt, so Steph had to take a minor deal. Who knew that he was going to be the unanimous MVP? Don't get me wrong. I thought Steph was going to be great, solid player. I did not know he was going to be this good. I did not know. So the Warriors lucked out on that. Then they double back and go get the second best player in the league and keeping their whole core together. That's you gotta call a spade and tip your hat to say, hey man, that's an A+ doing your job. And people don't like that, but it was what it was. They did their job. Now I cannot see no team being built through the draft again and getting the second best player in the league, like with another player that's like the KD thing. I can never see that happen again.
It's highly unlikely that would ever happen again.
Never. And that extended their dynasty to really solidify them. People Draymond them don't want to accept it, but y'all was like a good championship team. The KD acquisition turned y'all into a dynasty. No matter, I don't care what Draymond tried to say, oh, we won without you, KD, or we did this. The KD move solidified the dynasty. Oh, no matter if you like it or not. KD solidified it. But to answer the main question of it, though, I don't think the Warriors will be the last dynasty we see, because when one ends, another one grow. Because I know a lot of everybody who watches say that old, maybe you could be, but let's just go to the 80s. We had the Lakers and the Celtics. Dynasty end, we get the Bulls. The Bulls dynasty end, we get the Spurs and the Lakers. That dynasty ends, we get the Heat, we get the Warriors, we get the Cavs. So it's always going to be one. But Sean, answer the question to that one too. I want to know if they're the last one. But would it be bad for the league if we never get another dynasty? What if it's just like every other year we get different champions? Would it be bad?
No, I think parity is what the NBA wants. Right? It's that I think that's what you want in professional sports in general. It's parity. Dynasties look great, but what also looks great is the next team.
Yes, always. Yes.
From a sports perspective. So, I think obviously we'll see. But to his point, I think so. Again, when we say the term dynasty, just for clarity, SB, I don't consider the Heat a dynasty. Because again, for me, a dynasty is win 3 within 5 years.
Okay.
Right. So obviously the Heat didn't win 3. It was a great run.
Great run, sure.
But it's only 4 years. So, they're on the outside looking in of being a dynasty. And I'm okay with that. I'm like, whatever. But so for me, are we going to see another dynasty? I think it's going to be very difficult because of the financial implications of keeping great teams together, right? The deeper guys go in the playoffs, the deeper, the more they do in the playoffs, the more they get their dollars up. We just saw Denver, Bruce Brown, what he did in the playoffs, got his dollars up on the free agent market, so one and losing a guy like that obviously hurts because he was a lot of what they did off the bench. Excuse me. So I think the dynasty, in terms of the long-term dynasty, no, I don't think we're going to see that anymore. But I do think we're going to see some quick runs.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Before we go to the next one, we got another caller coming in. Mars from Up the Score Show. What's your question for me and Sean? What you got, bro? Welcome to the show.
Appreciate y'all having me on. Y'all talking about Sean. Nice to meet you. I disagree with you wholeheartedly. If you do not think that the OKC Thunder or San Antonio Spurs have a formula of building the next dynasty, you're wrong, because with how many picks they have is the new way. Because when you have all those picks, there's always going to be at least one guy who's overpaid on your team, So you could trade that guy, and if Wemby, if he pops off like he's capable of, and you got Wemby and a legit guy next to him, that could be a legit team with one more piece away. You know, if Stephon Castle just for some reason is the next Shea Gilgeous, you know, that's how dynasties are built. They're built off luck. Like the NBA can't do nothing to stop a dynasty because Tony Parker, we didn't expect him to be who he was. Manu Ginobili, we didn't expect him to be who he was. Like Shea Gilgeous, when he went to the Thunder, we did not expect this out of him. And the Thunder got Shea, they got Chet, they got J-Dub, and like 21st round picks. Like they have so many ways they could go and build something up for them. And the NBA can't do anything to stop that because, yeah, I understand contracts are bigger nowadays. But one thing about contracts that are still the same from prior years is the percentages that these number one options get. Yeah, I understand that somebody like Luka in the future, he's going to get 70 mil per year. But him and Michael Jordan made the same percentage of the cap space. You give your number one options 25% of the salary cap. That's what a max is. A max isn't a certain amount. A number is a certain amount percent. So it's going to be the same formula. Just luck. That's what a dynasty is.
So, Mara, I don't know if you heard the beginning of the show. So OKC is the test case for the NBA over the next few years. When you look at Chet, when you look at SGA, we know they're probably their building blocks.
Yeah.
But let's say J-Dub, somehow, some way becomes an all-star, an all-NBA type player. They're going to have to make a decision because, again, they're in the market they're in. They're a team that's very, very limited. They can't spend like the Clippers. They can't spend like the Warriors have the last few years. That's not really their mode. I agree with you on the picks, but the problem with the picks is one. I mean, you don't know how those first round picks are going to pan out because you can't use all of them. Yeah. They understand. But also, I think the other part of it is, and again, one of the reasons why you get a dynasty is you tend to win with cheaper talent in the early part of that dynasty, which is what the Warriors were able to do with Steph and with Dre and with Clay early. Those guys weren't expensive. After they won the first one, Dre, Clay got more expensive. Steph was a little bit away because he was already on his extension. They had to pay Steph eventually after you got KD and then pay KD. So there's a little bit of that as well. When you look at I'm using dynasties, it's can you win with cheap talent, and can guys who aren't necessarily paid a lot of money outperform their contract status? Because again, we would agree that Steph, when he was on that 4-year, $44 million contract, was the best deal in the league for what you were getting. So that's the
best deal of all time.
For sure. I ain't gonna lie.
But appreciate you, Mars, coming up here.
Hold on. One more team that's like an example of what Sean was saying is like the Grizzlies, because they're gonna have a Zach Edey who they gotta steal. And if he just goes out balling, because Jaren Jackson, he's on a cheap contract because he used to have injury problems. John Morant, when he re up, the Memphis Grizzlies could use him as an off-court problem, as a reason why they should give him less money. So they also got a lot of their picks. A lot of teams got ways, but it's only going to be one team. You know, I agree with y'all. It is harder, but it's going to happen again. We don't know how or who, but it's going to happen again.
Yeah, shout out to you coming on. It's Up the Score. Show you. Do you have like the YouTube? Well, what do you do? What do you do mainly?
Yeah. My boy Casual sent me over here actually.
Casual, my boy. Casual been he been the guest on him. I'm gonna have to go ahead knock him out, man.
Yeah, but Casual tapped in with Sbtalksports, man. What you doing? You waiting? What? You tripping?
Yeah, but I appreciate you, Mark, coming on the show, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, Mark.
Appreciate you. Shout out to the people coming through the show showing love, man. But also, Sean, now we have to go to the next thing is, does the NBA care about parity too much? Because with the new CBA, it seems like it's going to be a lot of parity in the situation. But do they actually care about parity too much?
I would say that the NBA absolutely cares about parity too much because it's what it wants. It's what it has always wanted. And the owners run the NBA. All the owners really want, generally speaking, SB, is a chance to compete.
Yes.
When, again, you have a team like Golden State and like the Clippers, which, again, you can dispute me on this all you want. Those are the two big reasons why we have the CBA as we have it now.
That's true. I can't argue that. That's true.
Some others, Ben Simmons and James Harden are a part of that as well. For another but these teams are saying, hey, listen, we understand that there's times we may have to pay into the luxury tax. We're okay with that. What we can't do is spend $500 million in luxury tax over 4 years, which is almost what the Clippers and the Warriors were spending over the last 4 years, each. So, I mean, so does the league care about parity? Yes. Does it care too much about parity? Maybe a little, but maybe a little. But I think and again, they've always said is they want, even if a team is a juggernaut, so to speak, they want the other teams to feel very much like they have an opportunity to compete and win.
Okay, so they changed the rule for tanking, right? So because I get for the point of like, if we go where it's the Warriors with the KD, where guaranteed they're gonna make it to the finals winning, and then you got like LeBron and Kyrie on one side, where teams feel like there's no hope or chance, so they're just like battle out the year. So that's what they kind of was worried about stopping.
Mm-hmm.
But also to the fact of when those two juggernauts actually meet it in the finals, the payoff is also worth it. But maybe, just maybe, with this idea that they trying to twist, because let's say I'm gonna take out my mindset of that. I know they're doing this for the new teams, but just maybe, Sean, what if it's a possibility they want some juggernaut teams, homegrown juggernaut teams that can stay for solidified? Maybe they just want more than one. So maybe they like, we got two teams that's like the Cavs and the Warriors in the East, and we got in the West. Then we got two teams that's like the Cavs and the Warriors in the East. So it's like you get that double hit. So it'd be like, okay, we get Denver. Just say Denver was one. Or matter of fact, no, let's go to the future preference. The OKC Thunder is one. The Spurs is another one. So now we got them going at each other in the Western Conference. Then we go get one of them in the finals. So we get our double payoff, because I think the NBA just got tired of we only truly get our payoff on during the finals because everybody just want to see these two juggernauts collide. But I think maybe the main goal is they want multiple juggernaut teams so they can get a double payoff in the finals. Am I wrong for thinking like that? Because I'm like, that could be the only other thing I could think about, them trying to spread out the wealth, because I don't think they want to be like Denver win this year, Boston win, then some randomly like the Timberwolves win, the next year like the Knicks win. I don't think they want it to be like that though, because that'll be like a little too much parity.
So I think this, SB, I think you're right on one side, but I think the other side that we don't talk about enough is what the NBA wants is teams in these markets to be successful.
Yes.
Regardless if you're OKC or you're in LA, you're the Spurs or you're in New York, they want the teams in those markets to be successful, right? That's their interest. As much as they don't like teams relocating, they don't like teams, having to move around to find, the right arena deal and to leave a market, because you got to go into that market and establish yourself. OKC was unique because they were not a professional sports market. Oklahoma is a college state, specifically.
They show out for the Thunder too, though. They come to the games,
and you think about it's a college atmosphere, and even look at how they built their team early when they first got there. It almost had a college atmosphere, because all those guys were would have been in the age that they would have either been in college or still, or just graduating. So that's kind of what they really built, I believe, and so that's kind of their culture, if you will. They like the younger guy. They like the guys who, come in, got something to prove, just about coming in, enjoying playing basketball and trying to win some games. It's why I think it works in that market. But I think so that's what the NBA really wants, is these markets to be successful, small, medium, big. They want the teams to be successful in those markets more than anything. So I think that's the parity they want, is success in the markets. And regardless of the size of your market, they want teams to feel like they have a competitive chance to win. Because you can't compete, because you can't compete financially. Again,
no.
Steve Ballmer's pockets ain't Jeannie Buss's pockets.
Yep.
If Steve Ballmer had Jeannie Buss's pockets, he'd probably jump off the Empire State Building. So I'm not making light of suicide, but you know what I mean. Just So again, that's really what they want. They want these teams in these markets to be successful.
And I can see it happening too, because also, like we said, like my team has been terrible, but we're the third best selling team in the market. Like no matter how good the Timberwolves was this year, and they're gonna be better than us these next couple of years, Chicago's always gonna be bigger and make more money because Chicago's in a better market. So you hit it right on the head about that one. But I'm glad you brought up Jenny. Speaking of the Lakers, I always got to bring the Lakers segment in. I was shocked when I seen this. So obviously LeBron is in Team USA. He hooping with all the guys. He hooping with everybody. Just, LeBron just got to say something wild, man. LeBron said he still believes the Lakers got a chance to win the championship. I'm going to say, you ever seen – he's gone now because of some other disclosed reasons. We ain't going to talk about why Vince McMahon is gone. That's a different topic. But his theme song was a nice theme song. We don't really curse on here, so give me one pass for this curse word right here, Sean. He got no chance in hell of winning the championship this year. He got play the Vince McMahon theme. LeBron, no chance in hell. You got no chance. It's not gonna happen. So we done it before, and not with this roster. You don't got it, and you're 40. But what's your take on this one?
I mean, I've heard some sorry rappers say they were the greatest rappers alive. I mean, you gotta believe it. I guess part of being a great athlete, part of being a competitor is you always feel like you got a chance.
Got it.
It's like in Dumb and Dumber when Jim Carrey's old girl is talking to Jim Carrey and he's like, so you're saying there's a chance?
So you're saying there's a chance?
So there's clearly no chance. So yeah. I mean, there's a chance. You won a 30. You got a chance. Won a 30, but it's very, very. So I'll tell you this, SB. I was looking earlier. DraftKings. I don't like shouting them out because they don't sponsor us, but they put out their
maybe in the future.
Maybe in the future. Yeah, let's put that in the atmosphere. They put out their title odds. For this this upcoming season. You can guess who number one was.
The Celtics.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Can you guess who number two was?
It better be like Denver or the Mavericks. If you say me the Lakers, you lying.
No, it's not.
Okay. I was gonna say, did I say the team though? It wasn't the Nuggets? Minnesota?
Nope.
New York?
No.
Okay, wait. It's not Denver, not Minnesota. OKC?
Nope.
Not OKC. Is it West or East?
I don't want to tell you that because if I tell you that, he's gonna give it away.
Philly?
It was Philly.
Oh man, they're gassing this Paul. I rock with Paul George, but Paul George was my favorite player. But they gassing this Paul George move. So what was the Lakers at?
Oh, nowhere near the conversation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought they I said they be finessing these Lakers fans.
Yeah.
Let me finesse them tonight. It ain't gonna happen. Let me know make sure y'all comment under the video. What is the Lakers percentage of winning the championship? Give me 1 through 100. I'm gonna tell you it's like a 10% chance. Every domino gonna have to fall. Jokic, Luka, Ant-Man, Tatum, Brown, even the Knicks, they're gonna have to be out for the season. There's no chance. I told you, no chance in hell. You got no chance. Not gonna happen. He said 0% chance, 100% zero. I agree with you, bro. 0. So a clip went viral recently because Paul George. I wanted that you see the clip. He was talking on Podcast P. The Philly special episode. He wearing number 8 to honor Kobe, which I like. He details how the contract negotiations went with the Clippers. Long story short, they were trying to lowball him. He wanted more money that Kawhi wanted initially. But then he seen what Kawhi got. He just asked, give me the same as Kawhi. They tried to lower it. They gave Kawhi like 2 years, 70-something. They only offered Paul George 2 years, 60. So did the Clippers make a mistake by letting Paul George walk? And what was your reaction to him giving us the inside scoop on what happened with them.
No, I don't think they made a mistake. I think, again, they had to make a financial decision. And, and this is what it comes down to. We mentioned earlier what they paid in luxury taxes the last 4 seasons, combined with the Warriors, almost $1 billion. So they had to make a financial decision. They, perhaps, they came in if his, which I'm not going to question, is his negotiation. So I don't question whether or not he's being honest. But they came in at 2 at 60, and he was like, no. And then he said, just give me what you gave Kawhi. And, and he was willing to take what, they gave Kawhi, which was a 3-year extension. Again, this wasn't about liking the player or liking, or this purely came down to a financial decision. And because of all the money they spent and the fact that they would have still continually been paying into that tax, they would have been paying the repeater tax as well. They had to make a financial decision, which is what they really did. And again, this is what it's the CBA is saying. Hey, you can pay 2 guys. You might be able to even pay 3, but if you pay 3, maybe it's going to be very difficult for you to fill a competitive team around those 3 guys. So you better be darn sure that if you're paying these 3 guys, Philly, that these 3 guys can lead you to the promised land. Because if not, you're not going to have a lot of depth, and you're not going to necessarily be able to keep it together long term. So, I think they just made a financial decision, SB.
I mean, and then with the financial decision, Paul George can't look at them like they're wrong. You and Kawhi has not accomplished nothing. At least bringing it to the negotiation table, say, hey, we bought y'all a chip. It'd be worth paying the extra money that you got to pay because we over the tax. Then you can argue that, but the most you can say is we made one Western Conference appearance. I think they made one Western Conference Finals appearance, right? Or was it the second round?
They made it one Western Conference Finals, but remember
Kawhi was out. So we can't do that. We can't. So I'm not really mad at it. But then Philly came up, made a good move. I know he also talked about how the Warriors almost got signed to the Warriors, but I guess he took the Philly deal. So
for him to do the Warriors thing, he would have had to opt in. They couldn't, because Philly or the Clippers were not going to do a sign and trade with the Warriors. They were not going to help the Warriors. Right. They weren't going to do it. So, and Philly, could just outright sign him. He got $200+ million over 4 years. They're going to be a competitive team. We know this in the East. They're going to be a competitive team. And in my mind, if they make the Eastern Conference Finals this coming season, because it's very difficult to win the first year you put a team like this together. We'll see what happens, but I think he made the right decision to go to Philly.
John, I don't know where you came from with this one, but we're not talking about that. I don't know. You got to tell me what that came from. You came in debating Kobe versus LeBron. I mean, I don't know. Was it from TikTok video? You see me comment something on TikTok because I said that you got to explain that, bro. He came in with a whole history. With a whole paragraph ready to debate that. I'm not debating Kobe versus LeBron. LeBron better.
Yeah.
In the story. In the story. Like, I got Bron at 2. I got Kobe at 4. Bron better. But speaking of another descendant of the great Kobe Bryant, RIP Mamba, DeMar DeRozan finalizes the deal, signed a trade with the Sacramento Kings. Big for the Sacramento Kings, big for Chicago. Thank you, Lord. We can finally rebuild. Thank you. Stop being continuity. That's all I've been hearing. But forget my crybaby Bulls story side. I hope we tank Cooper Flag 2025. But how would this move help the Sacramento Kings? Is it a good, bad move? What you thinking?
I think it's a good move if they make another move. Because I think they got to move Kevin Huerter for something. And to me, their biggest issue is they need another big next to Domantas Sabonis. Yeah. So I think it's a good move if they're able to move Kevin Huerter for something. But if they come back and they basically are, playing Keegan Murray at the 4 with this particular lineup, yeah, I just think they, but I think they got to make another move. What that move is, I can't say. I was playing with some trades the other night, just kind of looking at, who could be available. Portland's got 700 centers. So
I call Portland. I go get the one from the guy from the Celtics, but he always hurt. I'll go get him.
Robert Williams would be interesting for them. But again, you got to move Herter. Herter's the key. Can you flip Herter to? I'm just thought, for example, can you flip him to Denver? Can Denver flip Zeke Najee, who's making about $9 million a year, to Portland, and then Portland flip Robert Williams to Sacramento? I think that, again, a move like that, because of what he brings when he's healthy, we know what he is defensively. He's a lob threat. He's not a guy that necessarily needs the ball. He does the dirty work. I think that move would make them a lot more interesting than they are currently constructed today, but we'll see.
With Sabonis' passing ability, I think Robert Williams would eat with them, especially like that high post game work that Sabonis like to be at that free throw line work. I could see a lot of lobs, a lot of nice little inside pass to Robert Williams would be good. And then I don't think Robert Williams had to do too much over there with Sacramento. And I think him and Fox running together too. And then also with the DeRozan signing, I think DeRozan brings another aspect for the Kings that they need is like when they need to slow the game down. Because sometimes when the Kings be up and down, they be up and down doing pretty good. But they do need another guy that can just like, okay, we can get a ball to outside of the De'Aaron Fox who can find a way to get his shot. That's one thing I can say. You can argue about a lot of things about the DeRozan game right now at this age, but one thing I can tell you, he can find a way to get his shot off. Yeah, he gonna shoot 15 of those shots, but he gonna get his shot off though.
And I think the other thing too is that he's developed a bit of a reputation as a ball stopper, where the Kings over the last couple of years under Mike Brown have been a team that's really kind of geared themselves to playing with more pace, and a little more ball movement. Again, Sabonis facilitates their offense. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox does as well. So but also I think this move, and for me, again, just thinking about it from the development perspective, hopefully it doesn't hurt Keegan Murray's development, because we've seen flashes when he's gotten an opportunity to really be featured, he could go. So, so how does this affect his development? But we'll see. Again, are they a better team today? I think so. Yeah. But again, I think it's going to be incumbent on, can they make another move with Herter? Because again, they're kind of stacked, at that position.
They're definitely stacked. But on to the next one. We'll see what the Kings are going to do. Because they tried to stay impact last year from after they had that good year 2 years ago. They learned their lesson. You got to always try to improve. Any little thing will help. But Redeem Team, or we going to get this Redeem Dream Team. Team USA has already started open camp with the practice. We see them hooping. Obviously, they try to redeem the FIBA thing. Even though everybody don't take FIBA as much, we didn't win. We didn't get gold. Basketball supposed to be our sport. But also, this is a dream team lineup, Sean. You got, I want to pull up their roster, but I know you got LeBron, Steph, AD, Kawhi, LeBron, like Ant-Man, Tyrese Halliburton.
Tatum, Bam.
Hey, Bam. It's a nice team. Like, the roster is ridiculous.
Yeah. Drew Holiday.
Devin Booker.
Yep.
Joel Embiid. KD. Drew. Man, so what we getting from this? I'm gonna let you know right now. I don't see us losing the game. I don't see if we don't win every game by 20 plus, I'll be disappointed. Only team that I'm truly worried about is you always got to worry about Spain, because they hoop together, they ball out, and maybe Canada this year. That's it. Maybe for me, maybe. But with the team we got now,
I throw France in there because just of their length and and France. But all in all, I mean, obviously we know Team USA should definitely be the favorite. But on teams like this, it always comes down to, can guys buy in, to their role. This team, in my opinion, really doesn't have role players. No. But they have guys who will play a role. So like Drew Holiday, for example. Yes. Drew Holiday's not a role player, but he'll play a role. So I think that's kind of the big thing. and also just you can't bring ego to it.
No, you
This
can't.
is about one goal, one accomplishment. Don't bring ego to it, which I know we got something to talk about next. But let's
you threw the oop for it. You threw the oop for it.
So we'll see.
And I'm glad you say that too, because ego could be going to it. Imagine Ant-Man joke a lot and how he talk, but Ant-Man be serious though. Ant-Man say he the number one option, and allegedly Ant-Man might come off the bench. So what's your reaction like? You think it wasn't just a joke, or you think Ant-Man feel this way?
Well, I mean, two things, SB. What is he supposed to say? One, I mean, and let's be real, right? LeBron is 76 years old. Okay, KD 72, Curry is 68, Kawhi's knees are 156, Joel Embiid's body is 210. So yeah, what is he supposed to say? Yeah, he's the young gun. He's the dude to say, yeah, I'm here. I was here last time as well.
It's my league now.
Yeah, this is my league. It's a brand new sheriff in town. When he walks in the room, he's supposed to do what Jordan did in '92. Walks in and says, "A brand new sheriff in town," and and back it up. So I'm not mad with Ant for doing this. At the end of the day, there's an old saying, SB. There's often truth in jest. He might be saying it tongue in cheek, but in his mind, he is very serious.
I think he very serious, 100% serious, because that man gives all that vibe of like I'm him as a basketball player. And this year was like his coming out party as an individual player. Now he gotta lock in and get it to winning. Because once Ant-Man win with the popularity, especially with that he look like Jordan's son thing, they gonna mark him as a face of the league. Like Tatum and them won. If the Timberwolves would have won this year, Ant-Man would have been the face of the league. Face of the league. Like if Tatum would have won like two or 3 years ago, they would have did the same thing for Tatum. But now they got they got now. And things like this, saying things like this in the media is what they want, because Ant-Man is now becoming must-see TV on and off the court. Because now people just want to, I just want to hear what Ant-Man said. I know Ant-Man say something crazy, or he said something with cockiness, or it just reminded me so much like Jordan. That's what all they going to do.
Right.
But even though Ant-Man feels that way, the reality of the fact is this. Who should start for Team USA? Looking at the roster, you can look at the roster, pull it up, you want to look at it, Sean. Who is your starting five for the roster?
I'm going to say Steph, Ant, Tatum, LeBron, Joel Embiid.
Okay, so you got Steph, Ant, Tatum, LeBron, Joel Embiid. Ooh, we KD off the bench. Yeah, he is about old. For me, as I'm looking at it, I'm gonna go Steph. I think we can agree that Steph and Embiid is a lock at their position. 1 and 5 is a lock. There's nobody.
So, yeah, I would say so.
1 and 5 is a lock. But for me, I go Steph. I go Tatum, LeBron, AD, and Embiid. Steph, Tatum, LeBron, AD, and Embiid. Because we got to forget about AD. AD's still there too.
No, I mean, I ain't forget about him. I just know Steve Kerr. And
he running small.
Yeah, so I mean, he's gonna play those bigs, but it won't be like together unless it's against like France.
And that's how we lost last time. Him doing it.
Well, they didn't have enough, and but also yes, that was a big part of it as well.
Yeah, Steve better learn his lesson, man. But let me know who y'all think should be the starting five. Comment down below. Comment if you let me know who y'all think should be the starting five for Team USA. Sean, I want to switch this with WNBA real quick, man. Angel Reese sets the WNBA mark for most consecutive games with a double 13 breaking Candace Parker record. What do you think about this accomplishment?
I mean, it's a great accomplishment. Again, here's someone who didn't come in the league for her scoring, right? She came in the league because of her defense, her rebounding. Again, and she's worked, and you can tell she's worked on her game. She's putting the ball. She's still figuring things out, obviously. But but shout out to her again. Someone who wasn't known as a scorer has shown she can do that at this level, and she's only going to get better. I know she's trying to expand her range. eventually add, kind of that top of the key three, kind of like, the woman that I think she kind of models herself after, Asia Wilson, so yeah, shout out to her. This is a great accomplishment. Great accomplishment.
And I ain't like how everybody was hating on her. Well, I think it was like when she got to like 7. People start giving like the backhand comments talking about so. Oh well, she imagine some former NBA, WNBA players too. Oh yeah, because she just getting her own rebound. Look at her inside. I'm like, bro. First of all, right, your rookie year, you only gonna go off nothing but raw talent at the end of the day. And I don't care what nobody says. You cannot deny the fact that even at her rookie year point, she's one of the best rebounders in the league. Off bat. I don't care how they get there, because we already know that Angel Reese offensive game, when she's a project offensively, that she's gonna have to work more, add more to her game. But what she, like you said, Sean, for what she got drafted for is an A+ defensive rebounder. She's an A+ rebounder already. Whatever potential, well, imagine, I don't even think she even hit her peak yet on rebounding yet, Sean. I think she's going to improve the more and more she plays because she's going to get stronger. Her offensive skill set is going to get better. So I like Angel Reese, phenomenal job. So stop hating on Reese. She hold it down for the sky right here in the shy. Ain't no Reese slander will be going on around me. If I see the Reese slander, I'm coming at you. But speaking of the other one, you got to talk. If you talk about Magic, you got to talk about Bird. Caitlin Clark notches a triple-double, becoming the first rookie ever in WNBA history to get a triple-double. But what you feel about this accomplishment?
I mean, again, it's a great accomplishment. First to do it, you got to shout out to her. Again, first, she's had a really good rookie season. I know, a lot of people are tired about talking about her, which I understand, but she's had a great rookie season along with Angel Reese. So, it's an accomplishment. And again, first by a WNBA rookie. There have been 27 years of rookies in the WNBA, and she's the first to do it. So that's an amazing accomplishment to her.
Yeah, no, and I'm 100% agree with you. Like the same thing. I know everybody don't like to look, her fan base, but y'all was a little bit wild on her too. The fan base and the haters, y'all both wild. Y'all was doing a little too much. But before I ask you this next question, because this is the end of the season award question, did Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark live up to expectations?
I think they exceeded them.
I think so too. I think they exceeded them.
Yeah, I think they absolutely exceeded them. Again, coming in with, a lot of fanfare. This rookie class, I think, has exceeded expectations. And, and I know, again, it's still a process with a lot of them, and a lot of times it'll be, how you come back next season after, teams have figured out how to adjust to you. But, at the end of the day, they have exceeded expectations in my mind, and shout out to them because, again, they've made, two teams that, obviously were picking very high in the WNBA draft, relevant, or added to their relevancy. So, yeah.
No, the big question is, because now I believe it's a close race, but the person that everybody wants to win, I don't believe is leading the race. I wouldn't be shocked because how good they both doing. I would love to see a co-rookie of the year. But if I had to pick one, I think right now today, Sean, Angel Reese is the rookie of the year right now. The consecutive double-doubles, the game, and man, she put in enough work that's leading to like wins. And I seen it was what's the dark-skinned former WNBA player who's do commentary now? I know she got like an African name. I can't think of her name on top of the head.
Oh, Feeney Agwemeke?
Yeah, Agwemeke, she was just like, oh yeah, I'm picking the rookie of the year voting off the standards. I felt like that was just a genius, even though the sky's better than the fever, because nobody ever ties winning into rookie of the year. And then that started a whole storm of that's some hate, Caitlin Clark hate, which is not hate, because you can legit argue that Angel Reese, without record alone, because both of them got losing records. Record alone is still might be having a better season. You can argue for a case, especially with the double doubles. And it's not also she not giving you 10 and 12 no more. She giving you 25 and 15. Like she's balling out. Like, so you don't have to do the low-hanging fruit excuse, because you don't ever use standing when it comes to rookie of the year. You can still make a case for it. But right now, for me, if I had to pick, I'm going Angel Reese for rookie of the year. Right now.
I'm going Angel Clark. I don't think there's any way that they don't split it. I think it's Angel Clark. Both of them getting the trophy, co-rookies of the year. We've seen it in the NBA before, obviously, but co-rookies of the year for what they've done this season. I think they both deserve it. I don't think it's a clear favorite. I don't think it's a clear favorite where it's a wide margin. It's not a Wemby situation, obviously, but I think both of them definitely deserve Rookie of the Year.
Do you think they're gonna have the right mindset to actually just give them co-rookie of the year? I think they should do. I think both of them should get awarded anyway, just off the fact of one, they playing good, and also what they brought the views stupid high. Like I think they need to get a appreciation award. We appreciate y'all doing what y'all said. Hey, you better appreciate them two girls now. Y'all look, man. The bank ain't negative as it usually be.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously it's based on the media vote, of course, So my hope is the media vote is split, and that both of them get it. But obviously, if only one of them get it, I want Angel Reese to get it because she Black. So she played with the Sky too. Go ahead, bring it home, baby, bring it home, Reese. Yeah.
But another one I want to talk off real quick. Angel Wilson is off into historical start, putting up crazy numbers. We ain't gotta go extra details too much. I know we're a little bit over hours, so I want to go too deep diving all into the numbers. But I'm gonna tell you how good she's playing right now, Sean. She's finna possibly win an MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, 3-peat, and if they win, she's gonna get Finals MVP. And all I just want to ask, with her going out to this historic start, what would this put up? What type of conversation we talking when it comes to ranking all time if she pulled this off? Off a 3-peat is crazy.
Well, I mean, again, we saw the Houston Comets 4-peat back in the day. So, would she be in that Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops conversation? Absolutely. But also, and again, I know we like to always make this about the individual. I watched them play yesterday. I watched the game yesterday against Dallas. Kelsey Plum she's been on a tear recently.
She cold
as well. So, it's always going to be about, what comes down to the team. Again, I think Asia, while, she is, a great individual talent, for her is about the team. She don't care about that stuff. I honestly don't care about it either. Cause again, I just enjoy watching them play. But yeah, so, we'll see. I mean, obviously it's a great conversation, but ultimately, they just want to win.
She's on pace to be one of the greatest players of all time. And that's just the truth of the matter of it. But I just know she's knocking on the door. She's up to the door. So no matter how this year go, but a 3-peat, we gotta talk about her different because there we in historical territory with, like you said, the Houston Comets, which y'all should bring back. I don't want to see no other y'all getting how Toronto got a team before Houston getting a team. Like, how does that make sense that anybody that don't make sense to nobody? Okay, you know what?
You gotta have an ownership group willing to invest. That's the key.
That's the key, yeah. I wish, man, because the Comets need to come back. But one more last story of the day, Sean, before we get up out of here. NFL story, Joe Burrow believes that if the NFL moves to 18 games, there should be 2 bye weeks. If anybody needs 2 bye weeks, it's definitely Joe Burrow. But do you agree or disagree with that?
So just to put clarity on it, what he was talking about, not just the 2 bye weeks, he said 2 bye weeks and that everybody should be off around week 13 for the entire NFL. And that you put the Pro Bowl festivities that week, similar to NBA All-Star Weekend. And so, his belief is that if you do that, it'll help, boost the ratings for the struggling Pro Bowl, but also that by adding a second bye week and an extra game, the Super Bowl would be on the Sunday before President's Day. So, so basically putting it on that third Sunday of every February. I think this is actually a good idea. The only caveat I would add to this is if you go to 18 games, you got to expand the rosters. You got to expand the rosters. That's the only caveat I add. But I
think like 60. You thinking a 60 man roster?
I mean, 60, 65, 60, 65. Yeah, so just expand the rosters because, again, the wear and tear on guys, with that extra game, expand the rosters. So that's the only thing I would add to this.
Only thing that's going to ruin this, though, Sean, and because I'm only thinking about it now because we're just talking about Asia Wilson on the all-time rankings. The stats, like when it comes to football, you can't argue stats about who graded because you're giving people, 2, 3 extra because it was at one point in time, 15?
It was 14. It was 14.
14.
Yeah.
Come on now. We should go. That's 4 more games. We go to 18. So now it's like with Patrick Mahomes go and break every yard and touchdown record, it's going to be hard to look at it the same because, bro, you had like 4 extra games or 2 extra games than the next man in the season.
Yeah. And I think that's why, again, for me, SB, I've always been more of a go per game versus season. A season stat will not impress me. Go per game. What did you do per game? Because, again, you add the extra 2 games. A 2,000-yard season is not going to mean more in 18 games than 16 games or in the 14 games that somebody did it back in the day. So, I think that's really the key is just go per game in terms of stats. But I did like what Joe Burrow had to say. My only addendum with that was just make sure you expand the rosters.
I like the Pro Bowl being mid-season. Now the question is, can you get the players to play hard, and also would you get the players to go to the Pro Bowl?
Well, so I think again, it's you're doing it as a flag football game. You're not doing it. You're not putting them in.
I forgot this flag. It's
flag football, and it's like you do it over a couple of days. It's like All-Star Weekend. You have your dodgeball and your throwing competitions and stuff like that. I agree. I actually totally agree that you move it to like the week 13. Everybody's off. Everybody get the same chance to refresh. You can do, a lot of bye weeks. Most of the bye weeks start like week 5 anyway. So I think
I like that.
So I think I like it a lot.
And then you also actually get the other guys that you want into because sometimes people forget that once you make the Super Bowl, like Patrick Mahomes, you don't never see him in the Pro Bowl. He get awarded his Pro Bowl, but you don't ever see him in the Pro Bowl because he's in a Super Bowl. So I actually like that too.
Yeah.
Episode, and this is gonna be a good one, Sean. Episode 88.
Oh, this is easy. This is easy.
Who do you got?
This is Marvin Harrison. This is easy. Marvin Harrison.
You got Marvin Harrison?
Yeah, it's easy. Marvin Harrison.
Marvin Harrison. I know he was going to go there. I got one me personally just because I like him. I got to go Torrey Holt, Rams. But then I'm going to go I'm going to go Tony Gonzalez too. Antonio Gonzalez. I'm not picking no Cowboys. Can't do it. Antonio Gonzalez. Antonio Gonzalez. But yeah, I'm going to go. I believe Torrey Hall would. Yeah, Torrey Hall did with 88. Okay, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, Torrey Hall.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
So I'll go with Marvin Harrison.
You sure you don't want to pick? You don't want to pick a Cowboy? 88 is.
Yeah, no, I don't care about that. Yeah, I don't care about that.
I mean, you sure, Michael Irvin?
Yeah, I don't care about that.
We lose the recipes. You know what I'm saying? But thank you guys for tuning in. See you guys possibly on Friday. We debating on it right now. It's my girl birthday Friday, so I don't know if I'm gonna be. We're gonna see if not. We're gonna keep you posted. But also we're gonna have clips, watch the clips during out the week. So we're gonna have content out for you. We appreciate you guys doing your things on the shorts. A lot of our shorts been hitting like 1,000. So keep liking, keep subscribing. We going up. We on the road to 3K. So appreciate you guys, love and support. And we are out of here, Sean. Man, look, man, Sean, we can't be losing the recipes like Michael Irvin said. Hey, that man's so funny, bro. Be greasier than bacon fried in the skillet in the morning, man. Appreciate y'all. We out.
Rucker Man.